What is up? What is going on, everybody? I am back with another Seattle Seahawks post-game recap. The Seattle Seahawks defeat the Arizona Cardinals today 20-10 to improve to 4-2 on the season to sort of keep pace, I guess, with the 49ers. If the Niners were to lose tomorrow, I think they'd be tied. Are the Niners 5-1 or 4-1? I don't know. But not that I'm not concerned about that right now. So I'm going to break down the game for you guys. Before I do that, do me a favor, hit subscribe if you're new here. I do Mariners content, Seahawks content, yes, Arizona Coyotes content, long story, but if you're a hockey fan, you should enjoy following me. And hit that like button too. It just helps out my channel tremendously. I'm probably going to get flack for this, but I thought Seattle actually looked pretty good today. There was a lot of stuff they need to clean up. I'm not saying this was, again, I feel like I say this on a lot. I say this for a lot of Mariners games. I say this a lot for Seahawks games. This was not the prettiest win. I am not hanging this one in the Seahawks Louvre as an all-timer, but it's a win that gets you from 1 week to the next against a divisional opponent. The Seahawks were banged up. They did not play a great football game today, but I think overall they looked all right. And they end up winning by a couple possessions. It was a game that felt like it was in doubt, but you also kind of didn't feel like it was in doubt, kind of a weird one. And they improved to 4-2. Life is too short to not enjoy wins. I will tell you that no matter what. Even if the team is 0-12, life is too short to not just be happy when your team wins. That's my life philosophy. I will never not be happy when my team wins a football game because losing stinks. It makes your week for football feel icky. I'm going on vacation this week. It would have made the vacation feel dirty. So I will always enjoy a victory. Let's dive into it. So the game started out, Seattle was pretty much in control in the first quarter. They score on their second drive of the game, 7-0, when Geno Smith finds Jackson Smith-Njigba with his first career touchdown reception. Very cool to see. Nice play design. JSN was wide open, 7-0. I'm not sure how many 3-and-outs, whatever there were, but Seattle forces a punt. The DJ Dallas fumbles. Defense does a great job. Arizona only gets 3 out of that. The ball was fumbled deep in Seattle territory, so defense holds strong there. Prater makes a 44-yard field goal, I believe, to make it 7-3. And, a little frustrating because felt like Seattle really dominated, but then Arizona gets the field goal 7-3. And then Cardinals score a touchdown on a 25-yard run by Josh Dobbs. Very frustrating possession. Devin Witherspoon had an interception that was called back due to a roughing the passer penalty. I get it. I think, who was it? Was it Mario Edwards? I think it was Mario Edwards. His hand hit Dobbs's head. I get it. It was super inadvertent. He was going to try and swipe the ball out, and his hand just brushed Dobbs's head. It's one of those, that's not what the spirit of the rule is supposed to be. If we were playing football, if this was 1995, that's an interception. That's not a roughing. But it's 2023. They're trying to protect quarterbacks. You can't hit their helmet, whether it's inadvertent or not. You can't do it. It wiped off a Witherspoon interception. Ended up being a little bit of a skirmish there. DJ Humphries, the Cardinals left tackle, gets ejected and ends up being first and goal at the 25 because of all that. And Dobbs runs it in. Nice play design by Petzing there. And Dobbs runs it in 10-7. Seattle goes down, gets a touchdown before the end of the half on a ridiculously good catch by the man, the myth, the legend, Jake Bobo. I didn't get to talk about Bobo last week. I meant to because he played pretty well against Cincinnati. He gets his second career touchdown. Great throw by Geno, where only Bobo was going to get it. Bobo goes up, makes a catch in traffic. Thought he was being held, to be honest. Gets his first foot down, gets the toes down on the second foot. It looked like the heel came in out of bounds, but the toes got down first. I was actually surprised they overturned it. I didn't think there'd be enough evidence, but they do. It's a touchdown, 14-10. So all in all, the first half, I thought Seattle actually played better in the first half than they did the second half. The touchdown was a little frustrating by Dobbs, but the offense, a couple nice touchdown drives. The turnover was a bit fluky. Dallas just lost it. It happens. You take that away, and then the roughing, a little fluky there. Could have easily been 14-3, 14-7 halftime. You're feeling pretty good. Seattle comes out and starts second half with a great drive. They get all the way down to the 1-yard line, first and goal, and the red zone goal line struggles just continue. I'm not going to put this one on Shane Waldron. I thought last week in Cincinnati, Waldron had some tough play calls, pass protection struggled, and Geno struggled. I'll get to Geno in a second. First and goal, the one, Kenneth Walker can't punch it in. They try it twice. They run a little kind of out route with Colby Parkinson at the sticks, but either the route was called wrong or Parkinson ran it short and he's a yard short of the end zone when he catches it. That one I'll put on Waldron a little bit. Maybe Parkinson's supposed to run that route deeper. I don't know. and they ended up kicking the field goal. I know some people are mad that Pete kicked it on 4th and goal. The way the offense was playing in the red zone, I do not blame Pete at all for taking the points. And against an Arizona offense that was struggling to move the ball, try to go up by a score, 2 scores, I don't blame them for that. Seattle then gets the ball back. DJ Dallas has a great punt return a couple possessions later. Great punt return by DJ Dallas. About 5 minutes ago in third quarter, Seattle's driving to the red zone again. Truthfully, a drive that if they get a touchdown there, you kind of feel like this game's over. You really do. You feel like it's over. Geno throws a awful interception. They were running a little out and up with Bobo, which looked like it was there for a second, but Geno just underthrew it, and it was picked off by it was the rookie. Who got the interception here? Come on. Hate when I can't find it. Why does it not have interceptions here? Garrett Williams, the rookie from Syracuse, I believe, made the interception. Very frustrating because it's just like you're sitting there going, just get it. Even if a field goal, you feel like this game is over. Arizona does nothing with it. They were pinned at the 1, so I guess that was the good news. Seattle gets the ball back. They have a center exchange fumble, which I think was more on Geno than it was Uluwatimi. Arizona gets it back. They miss a 34-yard field goal, and then Seattle goes 3 and out. Eventually, Arizona gets the ball back. Sorry, it's like the worst little recap ever. Arizona ends up going for a 4th down with a terrible play call. They did kind of a fake punt. Backup quarterback Clayton Tune was in. He ran the offense there. Punter went out wide. Just kind of an ill-advised design there. I actually either go for it with Dobbs or punt it. Seattle's offense was struggling in the second half. I would have punted if I'm Arizona. Make them go 90 yards against me. And it pretty much got Seattle in field goal range, got a couple first downs. Boneheaded run by Kenneth Walker not to stay inbounds on a run. But Myers makes a 48-yard field goal, thank goodness. And Seattle ends up closing out 20-10. Defense, fantastic. I thought defense absolutely did their job today. I thought they suffocated Josh Dobbs. I did not think there was a lot of guys open. I don't think Dobbs is very good. I don't. I will say this, Arizona's offense was 12th in DVOA coming into this week. I talked about in my pregame show, I think that might not be a good indicator of their offense. I think a lot of that was James Conner. And I think they're just being figured out a little bit. I don't think it's a super talented offense necessarily. Thought the pass rush did pretty good. Not quite as dominant as the Giants game, but I mean, you're never going to have that performance again. They get 4 sacks. I believe they got 4 sacks on Dobbs. Yes, they did. And the problem was the offense couldn't give them that 2-score lead. When you get a lot of sacks and turnovers is when you get those multiple score leads, unless it's fluky stuff like some fumbles. That's when you really put teams away. Seattle just was not able to get that 2-score lead. But all in all, good pressure from the defense. I thought they forced Dobbs to step out a little bit. I thought his mobility was a factor. I thought Seattle struggled a little bit with it. Not enough to be an issue, but their most success running the ball was definitely with Josh Dobbs. You could see why he was their leading rusher this year. They had a couple decent runs and end around stuff with Rondell Moore. Thought Seattle did a nice job on Hollywood Brown. He wasn't really a factor. Zach Ertz wasn't really a factor. And the defense had to work with some short fields. Now they caught a break when Matt Prater missed the chip shot field goal. But defense absolutely did its job. They get a gold star. The offense. I don't think the offense was as bad as people are going to think it was today. And I'm going to tell you why. First and foremost, a little banged up. DK Metcalf, you can say what you want. The penalties are frustrating. I get it. He has moments. He is still their best wide receiver. Lockett's probably the most shifty and reliable, but DK is still one of your best weapons. And DK helps open up things for other guys as well. Do I think DK is Justin Jefferson? No, but he is a really, really good player. Yes, there's some boneheaded mistakes that he needs to clean up, 100%. But to think that missing DK wasn't a factor is just insane. It absolutely factored in. And I think you would have seen some guys more. But in fact, I think it's maybe a game they put away with DK in there. I thought the offensive line held up okay. It's still going to be nice to get guys healthy. Evan Brown couldn't go today at center. Stone Forsythe started at right tackle. I like it. I don't know necessarily how he played, but I think anything you can try to get an upgrade over Jake Curhan is good. I thought Curhan played okay against Detroit, but he's kind of dropped off each week, and he was a little banged up with the ankle as well. So it's good to see Stone Forsythe in there. I thought he held his own from what I saw. You got to go back and watch the All-22 for some of that. Thought Uluwatimi held up okay at center. Bradford got beat a couple times at right guard. We know Bradford's more of a run-blocking mauler than a pass blocker. But all in all, I thought from what I saw, the line held up okay. Kenneth Walker in the first half looked like he was going to go off for 200 yards. I think he had 50 yards rushing in the first half. Arizona's defense buckled down. Maybe that's where they were missing some guys on the offensive line. I don't know if necessarily they were opening up the run lanes in the second half as much. Walker does finish with 105 yards, but only 4 yards a carry. He did enough, move the chains. I thought Kenneth Walker was fine, but after a first quarter looked like he might dominate. Arizona's run defense did step up a little bit. It's kind of how I predicted the game a little bit. The turnovers made it closer than it should have been. I said that Arizona's defense I don't think is talented, but there's a lot of effort there, and you saw it. You saw where the Arizona defense is really bad, and you saw where its effort makes them a little bit better than their talent today. I think that's fair to say. And I think with a little better red zone performance, even a couple more field goals, and without the turnover, Seattle probably does this win this game about 27-6, which was my prediction. The offense has got to figure out the red zone situation because that second week in a row now that it's just been a massive struggle. It's funny. Last week I said that the good news is you can't be any worse in the red zone than they were against the Bengals. So by that alone, I thought they'd clean it up. They might have been worse today somehow, some way. They did get a couple touchdowns, which is nice. They weren't red zone touchdowns, though. The one to Bobo might have been technically. What was the yardage on the Bobo touchdown? Let me see here. Bobo with 18. So technically that is a red zone touchdown. And then the JSN one was 28. Listen, it's the one series where they end up kicking the field goal was frustrating. It's just, you've got to pound that rock in there. There's no reason against an Arizona Cardinals D-line that Kenneth Walker should not be able to get that 1 yard in the goal line situation. I wonder if Seattle's formations are just announcing run too much. I get pounding it in there. Listen, even if you announce you're running the ball at the half-yard line, hat on hat, you should be able to pound the rock in there. But I do wonder if the formations are sort of selling what they're doing and the defense is just selling out in goal-to-go situations a little bit. So that possession was frustrating. They've got to figure that out. Hopefully, like I said, you should just be able to hand the ball to Walker and pound it in. Maybe getting Charbonnet back will help there. The Geno interception was awful. That's got to be cleaned up. But other than that, I thought Geno played pretty well today. I do, considering 3/5 of your starting offensive line is out. And again, I thought they held up all right. And then your best wide receiver, if you want to debate Lockett, Metcalf, fine. I'm not here to have that debate. But yeah, that's a lot of guys out. That's 4 starters on your offense. And good players. Abraham Lucas is one of the better right tackles in the game when healthy. DK Metcalf, a legitimate weapon. Evan Brown has been fantastic at center this year. I think Bradford Haynes, you could argue whatever on that one. But yeah, it absolutely has an impact. So at the end of the day, Geno finishes, let me get back to the box score, 18-24 for 219 and 9.1 yards per attempt. Take away the interception, which you can't, and Geno played just fine. And the fumble was probably on Geno too. Like I said, the good news is 2 of those turnovers are kind of fluky. The fumbled snap is just something that happens. It sucks, and it'll probably happen again, and it might happen in Seattle's favor at some point this year. The interception is bad because that's just Geno rolling out, underthrowing a ball, and not making a good decision. But other than that, like I said, I thought Geno played all right. I do. And if you're on the bench Geno train, I'm going to tell you right now, Drew Lock is not going to be better than Geno. In fact, I don't even know if they win this game with Drew Lock at quarterback. I am going to be very honest. I'm not a Drew Lock fan. I don't think he's very good. I think he's an okay backup where if you have to put him in, I think he can maybe hold his own a little bit. Listen, I am on the Geno train. I think you can look for a quarterback in the draft. I'm not saying that you just give Geno the next 10 years here or anything like that. I wanted Anthony Richardson in the last draft. So I'm all for them going out and trying to get an upgrade at the quarterback position. But right now, with the way the team is, Geno is the better option. I do think Geno's good. I think he is a good quarterback. Listen, is he good enough to, with your center, right tackle, right guard, and best wide receiver out, is he good enough to put up 40 points? No. That's reserved for Patrick Mahomes, healthy Joe Burrow, maybe Josh Allen, even Josh Allen right now, I don't know about. That's the guys that can do that. Geno's not that. But when things are going right, yeah, absolutely, Geno can make it work. Geno can absolutely make it work when things are going right. And like I said, for the most part, with the injuries today, I thought he did. Yes, against the bad defense, I know. But for the most part, I thought Geno did did what he needed to do. They've just got to get those red zone things figured out. They're moving the football. I said against the Bengals, it's not like this offense is just sitting there and 3 and out all the time and can't even get a pass off and no running game whatsoever. They're not. Arizona's offense was bad today. Seattle's defense deserves credit, but that's a bad offense, in my opinion, going forward. I know DVOA ranks them pretty good. I don't love the talent on that offense. I think it's got some potential with Kyler Murray coming back, but it's not. I don't think Seattle's there. The Giants, we saw the Giants 2 weeks ago. That was an atrocious offensive performance. Seattle's just, they're doing some things right, but just not finishing. I think they can get it fixed. I've praised Shane Waldron this year. I will be a little critical. I think Waldron's been great when things are going right and the rhythm of the offense is clicking. I think Shane Waldron's done a nice job, but Waldron does need to get better when things aren't going right. I know it's kind of like an oxymoron to say because things aren't going right, then how can you do it right? But good example would be a couple drives at the end of the game. Offense has a couple turnovers. They look a little timid, a little sluggish. That's when you need Waldron to dial something up, something to get a guy open, something to make it work, pick up a first down somewhere. Because sometimes all you need is that one first down. And then it's like, okay, now we can get rolling. Offensive coordinators will tell you that all the time. Get me the first down, and then I'll work on it and get the ball going. So, everybody can call the plays when everybody's blocking correct, everything's going right. Waldron needs to make some adjustments, I think. I'm not down on Shane Waldron at all. Again, just like I said, Geno's operating without 4 starters. So is Shane Waldron. But I think they do need to get a little bit better when things just aren't clicking, finding a way to get somebody open to make a big play just to get that offensive momentum back. So am I worried about the red zone offense? Yeah. I mean, you can't not be. Like, they've struggled down there. I will say if you look around the NFL, I think you'd find a lot of teams going through that a little bit, especially early in the season. I think it's a pretty common thing to struggle with because the red zone, it's tough sometimes to call plays in the red zone. The end zone limits what you can do. You don't have as much room to work with. A lot of teams sometimes can struggle down there. So hopefully it's something they can get fixed. I do think the talent is there for this offense to be just fine. And so far this year overall, it probably has been. But I think we'd all like this offense to go up 1 or 2 notches, for lack of a better term there, to put this team over the top. So let's get into the box score, then I'll end it today. First for the Seahawks, Geno Smith, 18 of 24 for 219, 9.1 yards per attempt, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick, was sacked twice, rating of 113. Again, outside the interception, I actually thought Geno had a solid game. I did. The interception is really bad. I mean, that's for one mistake, that's bad. The fumble, not too worried about that. Kenneth Walker, 26 carries for 105, much better in the first half. I do respect they were able to kind of get 3-4 yards a pop, keep the offense in shorter down and distances. Geno also carried the ball 6 times for 10 yards. Crazy, another running back did not get a carry today. JSN, 4 catches, 63 yards, and a touchdown. JSN now back-to-back weeks with 4 catches. Gets his first touchdown today, so JSN kind of coming alive. Not a big shock with DK being out. Jake Bobo, 4 for 61. Really impressed with Bobo. Sure hands, good route runner. Not going to blow you away in the speed department, but just a good, solid move the chains receiver. Lockett, 4 for 38. Parkinson, 2 for 26. Fant, 1 for 25. Walker, 2 for 6. DJ Dallas, 1 for 0. I thought the tight ends would be a little bit of a bigger factor. In fact, on Twitter, I said I think my bold prediction was Colby Parkinson goes over 100 yards. Obviously, that didn't happen. He needed, 74 more. So I was right on the cusp now. So I was a little surprised that the tight ends only combined for 3 catches for 51 yards. Would have thought we'd seen a little bit more there, but again, without the all 22, hard to really break that down too much. Defensively, 4 sacks. Darrell Taylor, sack and a half. Darrell Taylor's an interesting one because good to see him get some pass rush. Get a couple sacks. He's actually been a decent pass rusher this year. If you look at ESPN's pass rush win rate, for a while there, he was in the top 10. So it's good to see him be rewarded with a sack and a half, but he cannot set an edge to save his life. The Dobbs touchdown, Darrell Taylor's got to set that edge and be there. That was on Darrell Taylor. And there's a play before where they did something similar that was on Darrell Taylor. He's a pass rusher. He's good at it, but that's about it. And that's going to limit how much he's going to play. But good to see him get a sack and a half. Jordan Brooks gets a half sack. Jaron Reed, another sack today. My gosh, Jaron Reed. What a pickup. And I sat there in the offseason. I was like, Jaron Reed's kind of a mid player. He's okay depth. Jaron Reed has just come alive and Clint Hurts' defense. Clint Hurts just praised him. He's talking about how much he loves Jarran Reed. And my gosh, has Jarran Reed been an impact. 4 sacks already this year through 6 games for Jarran Reed. Boye Mafe gets his 4th sack of the year. Boye Mafe is everything I just said about Darrell Taylor. That's Boye Mafe being able to set the edge and pass rush. The problem last year is you had Mafe, who was good against the run and good to send the edge, and Darrell Taylor could rush the passer. That's a nice combo, but it's sort of like a platoon, right, in baseball, where that's fine if your platoon combines to be David Ortiz at DH, but you'd rather just have David Ortiz. That's kind of what they're getting from Boye Mafe now. He's combining the pass rush skills with that ability to set the edge on the run plays. Boye Mafe's been he's been a Pro Bowler in my opinion this year and a borderline defensive team MVP. Great to see. And then the other sack, that was it because Brooks got the half Taylor to second half. Uchenna Nwosu left with an injury. Hopefully everything's okay there. It was that abdomen. So they didn't have him for the second half. Thought Tariq Woolen had some missed tackles, didn't have his best game. I thought the penalty on him with the Devin Witherspoon sack was ticky-tacky. Witherspoon got that sack on 3rd and 13. Woolen might have tugged a little bit on Hollywood Brown. Nowhere near the play. That wasn't going to be a completed pass had that not happened. Don't grab the jersey, but I hate when it's a 3rd and 13. There's a big defense jailbreak, gets a sack. But, small holding back there, 5 yards, first down. Or you know what? Then here's oh my gosh, what's the word I'm looking for? Answer for that, I guess. Fine, make the holding a 10-yard penalty, but no automatic first down. Or just no automatic first down in general, because it's ridiculous that the Cardinals got manhandled there. Witherspoon gets through and get a sack. Woolen goes like this to Hollywood Brown, and they get a first down. It's just ridiculous. And I know Seattle's benefited from 2 at times, so, it is what it is. I'm not saying Arizona should give the ball back or anything, but it's just kind of frustrating. Run defense does its job again. Amari DeMarcado, 13 carries, 58 yards. Actually, DeMarcado did better than I've seen a lot of really talented backs do against the Seahawks here. Cardinals actually rushed the ball 25 times for 127 yards for 5.1 yards per carry. Actually did better yards per carry than the Seahawks. A little surprising to see that. Some of that was Dobbs on scrambles. I don't think the run defense was bad at all. I thought they were fine. It wasn't their maybe greatest performance, but I thought they held up and did what they needed to do. Dobbs really struggled throwing the ball, 19 to 33, 146, just 4.4 yards per attempt. Hollywood Brown caught 3 for 49. McBride 3 for 29. Moore caught 2 for 2. So really nobody for Arizona. Seattle's secondary is so talented. It is so talented. There's no reason that Josh Dobbs should come in and do anything better than what he did. So I'm not surprised by that at all. A suffocating performance. Some of that's on Arizona just not having the horses on offense, but Seattle's defense deserves credit. I don't have all the numbers in front of me, but I wouldn't be shocked if I'd be shocked if that's not Dobbs' worst yard per attempt this season as a passer. So you can sit there and say, oh, it's Josh Dobbs, he's terrible. Giants offense is bad too, but that's still the best defensive performance a team has had against them. You get your numbers against bad teams sometimes. That's where you get them. You break even with the good ones, you beat the bad ones, and you hope in the playoffs you play the good teams and the bounces go your way, right? It's just Josh Dobbs, but that's Dobbs' probably worst performance of the year. He didn't turn the ball over, which I was actually surprised. I thought for sure Seattle was getting a turnover just the way the defense was playing, and credit to him for not turning it over. And I'll say this, Dobbs not turning it over gave his team a shot. Despite everything, they had a shot. So he deserves credit for that, but Seattle, pretty suffocating performance. I'll take it. It's a win. They need to clean some things up. They need to get some guys healthy. Myles Garrett's coming into town next week, so we would really, really like Abe Lucas to practice and play. I don't know. I don't think he's not even practicing yet, so I have my doubts that he will be playing next Sunday, but hopefully get Evan Brown back, maybe Phil Haynes. Forsyth can hold his own to get DK back. Hopefully that'll help. It stinks they missed today, but maybe in a long run, it's a good thing. They get a week off and you can get everybody back going. Browns did give up 38 points to the Colts today. So, modern NFL offenses can move the football against anybody. So we'll see what happens. Sorry, this one went a little long-winded for me. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hit that like button, hit the sub button. What did you think of the win? like I said, it's a life philosophy for me. I'm never not going to be happy my team gets a W. Sorry, not going to be upset about it. Doesn't mean there's not things to work on. That's never the point I'm trying to make. This team absolutely has things to improve on. So do a lot of teams in the league. And if you're that upset about the win, go talk to Buffalo Bills fans today. They went into New England and lost. Go talk to Raiders fans who got blown out by the Bears. Go talk to Commanders fans who went into New York and lost to the Giants. Go talk to, I don't know, other people. Go talk to the Cowboys when they lost to this Arizona Cardinals team. Win is a win. It's the NFL. Any team can beat any team on any given Sunday. Take the W. Let's move on. Let's get healthy. Let's get better in the red zone. And let's get ready for the Browns next week. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, everybody. Hope you have a great Monday. Not as much content coming out this week. I'm going to be on vacation this week. Yay. Family trip. So, I'll be in and out. I might make some shorts and stuff. And then I probably won't have a preview up. Maybe I'll try to get a preview up before I leave. But that's all I've got. Have a great weekend, everybody. And I will see you all next time. And as always, go Hawks. Peace.